The state of Texas requires uranium producers to both protect groundwater during the in situ recovery process and restore the groundwater once the ISR process is complete. To ensure groundwater protection, ISR operators must conduct environmental studies evaluating groundwater quality before the uranium recovery process begins. ISR operators then must monitor groundwater near the well fields on a semi-monthly basis throughout the mining process. This monitoring ensures that recovery solutions do not migrate from the well fields or exceed protection levels. Because of the state's stringent monitoring and reporting requirements, the ISR industry's performance record is well documented, and there are no documented cases of ISR operations harming drinking water. The state of Texas also requires groundwater restoration once the uranium recovery process is complete. ISR operators must restore the groundwater to the condition it was in before the ISR process began. If this water did not meet drinking water quality standards prior to uranium production, the groundwater is returned to the quality of its previous use, such as for irrigation or watering livestock. After ISR operators complete water restoration, the state of Texas rigorously reviews the restored groundwater's quality to ensure that the groundwater meets cleanup requirements. The state's review also ensures that future supplies of underground drinking water will not be at risk.
Well, the rules that are in place to protect the landowners or protect the offset landowners from near a uranium in situ mining operation are fairly stringent. Those are designed to protect the landowners and protect the offset well operators. And the industry has to do a couple of things that make sense. One is to monitor those wells, that ring of monitoring wells that surround the ore body, the operation. They're also required to do, restoration.
The uranium mining is highly regulated. We have over 400 compliance conditions that we have to comply with from federal and state environmental agencies. So we're constantly reviewing regulations to make sure we're in compliance.
The regulatory agencies are very concerned in maintaining a good, healthy environment where the mining is going on. TCEQ, the Railroad Commission, the EPA, the nuclear regulatory agencies. I mean, there's so many overlapping regulatory agencies monitoring what's going on, probably more so in uranium mining than any other mining. This is a very, very safe process.
We run in a very highly regulated environment. We actually operate under 7 or 8 different permits or licenses to allow us to actually commercially produce uranium. Those also have requirements not only for how we operate, but it also sets performance requirements for us to do cleanup when we're done. If we walk away, this area that we're on is going to revert back to its original use. It's going to be almost as if we'd never been here.
When we're done, we'll remove that whole facility. We'll restore the water with reverse osmosis, and then we'll actually remove all our wells and the concrete and everything like that, and the land will be returned to, in our case, most of our land here is either farming or ranch land.
Uranium mining contributes to the Texas economy by supplying energy to grow the economy, providing jobs, and generating tax revenue. Each uranium operation in Texas supports approximately 100 jobs and a $10 million payroll. With production as early as 1961, Texas has produced over 76 million pounds of uranium with an economic value of $3 billion at current market prices. This represents one of the largest concentrations of uranium production in the entire United States.
It creates a lot of jobs for the economy, and when people understand that the dollar turns 7 times, you can imagine the economic impact.
It's interesting because we've been an oil and gas dependent economy in Texas, and mining uranium is new, and it brings new money into the state. It's brought new technology to the state. Understanding that there's uranium deposits in almost every county south of San Antonio, the entire state of Texas has benefited.
Nuclear is going to be continuing to be generated, developed and constructed. There'll be more nuclear power plants coming online. It's vital to our energy base to have a sustainable source of energy. The advantage of having Texas uranium is that it's a well-defined regulatory environment that maintains good control over the environment, good protection for environmental controls, also protection of our workers. So we have a way to produce it in a way that's going to be the best conditions for the nation and for the state. That's where the benefit comes in, is that we're able to do it in a way that's sustainable for the local communities. It's also sustainable for the environment, and it provides a vital source of energy for the country.
The coastal plain of Texas, particularly the southern part of the coastal plain, the vicinity of Corpus Christi and further south, has significant reserves of uranium, which were developed back in the 70s and 80s and are being looked at again because as the interest in nuclear power grows, the demand for nuclear fuel is going to grow. So I think we can all look for more nuclear power plants producing efficient baseload electricity in Texas and the nation, and we'll be able to use a local resource and a domestic resource both in Texas and the nation to generate that electricity.